bang and a brilliant fireworks display in the sky served as a farewell. The bankruptcy of Tropicana has brought an end to an entire golden era of Las Vegas's Rat Pack. 67 years of existence, 15 million USD. Tropicana was once called Europe's kiss in the heart of Vegas. Luxurious, glamorous, and bold. Where glamorous mobsters sat alongside Hollywood stars, where veterans returning from World War II rediscovered the thrill of victory with every card, and where an entire generation believed Vegas was a paradise of opportunity. But as times changed, the players left, the music faded, and the casinos are now just a string of numbers on a bank debt sheet. As the final tower of Tropicana collapsed to make way for the MLB baseball stadium, Vegas officially entered a new era. But the price to pay is the loss of a part of the city's soul. Vegas has lost the final chapter of the story that once made it a legend. There are no longer any lights bright enough to illuminate old Vegas again, where fantasy and reality once merged. In today's video, let's take a look back at the rise and fall of Tropicana. Could it be that the death of Tropicana is not only the end of old Vegas, but also a mirror reflecting an America that is destroying the very values that once made it great? Let's explore with us right now.
The Tropicana used to be on the other corner and looked like this, but now it's just pure trash.
Before being flattened and becoming an empty lot, the Tropicana was once considered one of the most iconic structures, marking a significant turning point in the formation of Las Vegas's golden era. Located at the intersection of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana Avenue, the hotel opened in 1957 and was likened to an elegant oasis in the desert, representing the bold and ambitious spirit of post-war America. Tropicana is one of the first integrated resorts on the Strip, a model that combines a hotel, casino, restaurants, and performance venues on the same property, creating a comprehensive experience for guests. With an investment of 15 million USD, this was one of the most luxurious structures of its time, earning the nickname the Tiffany of the Strip, due to its exquisite architectural style and superior service quality. Upon its debut, Tropicana was hailed as Vegas's new symbol of luxury, boasting a modern European style that was a stark contrast to the small, closed-off establishments that were common at the time. Prominent figures like Eddie Fisher, Debbie Reynolds, and Jane Mansfield helped shape the Hollywood vibe of the area, elevating the image of Las Vegas from a gambling city to a cultural and entertainment destination. Before Tropicana, most casinos in Vegas operated on a limited scale, focusing on basic gaming and accommodation. The arrival of Tropicana set new standards for service, amenities, and style, paving the way for later large-scale resorts like the MGM Grand and Caesars Palace. With a casino spanning over 44,000 square feet, featuring over 650 slot machines, numerous table games, and live entertainment shows like MJ Live, Purple Rain, Murray the Magician, and Laugh Factory, Tropicana quickly became one of the most diverse and dynamic entertainment hubs on the Strip. The food court and bar here also reflect a high-end yet accessible orientation, with restaurants like Bacio with Italian cuisine or Biscayne Steak with classic American cuisine, offering the first true luxury resort experience in Las Vegas. This model helps Tropicana maintain its premium image while keeping the price accessible to the middle class. With an average room rate of around $126, including resort fees, free parking, drink specials, an outdoor pool, and high-speed Wi-Fi, the Tropicana has become a model of affordable luxury, a place where guests can enjoy a regal atmosphere without overspending. During its peak, Tropicana was also a place where legend and everyday life intersected. Many Hollywood stars have stayed here, particularly Elizabeth Taylor, who is said to have chosen the Tropicana as her favorite Las Vegas hotel and drew inspiration from it for the 1970s film Showgirl. Many visitors shared memorable experiences, such as the story of a man who lived near Palms in 2005. "I used to go to the Tropicana to listen to the jazz band The Witnesses, And once, I met the artist Sammy Butera there. I have a lot of memories with this place. Those fragments of memory reflect the enduring vitality of Tropicana, a place that not only holds the lights, but also preserves the soul of an entire generation. Back then, Vegas didn't have the huge mega resorts like the Bellagio or Mirage that it would later have. Tropicana is the first benchmark of attainable luxury, an American dream in a tuxedo, where workers, teachers, or veterans can feel they belong to a larger world. In its golden years, Tropicana became the legendary stage for the Rat Pack, famous jazz singers, and dazzling showgirls, icons who shaped the city's entertainment identity. In particular, the Folies Bergère program is considered a pioneering artistic landmark. It combined classic European beauty with the modern rhythm of American music, creating a distinctive showroom model that was later adopted by almost every major casino. Tropicana quickly became a crossroads of Hollywood, jazz music, and the American dream. There, a soldier returning from the battlefield could sit at the same table as a stage artist, raising a glass together under the yellow lights and the sound of trumpets at night, all blending into the vibrant atmosphere of an America that believed in the future. Tropicana is not just a hotel, it is the first stage where the American dream was performed with genuine emotion, where people didn't need to be rich to feel their own greatness. But precisely because it set such a high standard, Tropicana was gradually weighed down by its own legacy. As the Las Vegas Strip entered a new era with multi-billion-dollar megaprojects, the standard of luxury set by the Tropicana in the 1950s and 1960s became a burden, making it difficult to keep up with the times. While competitors like Caesar's Palace and MGM Grand are constantly expanding and improving their technology, the Tropicana remains true to its classic beauty, a proud but also limited choice. That's the paradox that all symbols face. When the era it created has surpassed it, is there any way for it to survive? Tropicana, the Tiffany of the Strip, was once proof that Vegas could truly become a paradise, not just a red and black casino. But as the new light shone brighter, that legacy gradually faded deeper into the darkness. Behind all the dazzling lights of Las Vegas, there are always shadows of the past. And Tropicana, despite its image of luxury, was born during a turbulent period, when the line between legal investment and the flow of illicit funds was still blurred. In the mid-20th century, Vegas was the new, promised land, where every dream could be bought as long as you had the capital, and no one asked where that capital came from. When Tropicana broke ground in 1957, Las Vegas did not yet have a strict legal framework for the casino industry. The city develops at the pace of bets, fast, risky, and volatile. Many large projects, including Tropicana, receive funding from the East Coast, where financial networks and the underworld often go hand in hand. Names like Frank Costello or Dandy Phil Castle often appear in the records of that era. Figures believed to have had a significant influence in pumping life into this young city. Vegas at that time was like a giant gamble, and the Tropicana was the card being bet on for the future. To get the project back on track, Jake Hausner, the former owner of the Las Vegas Club, was brought back to manage it, with a goal of restructuring operations and building a more professional image for the Tropicana. When he passed on management to his son, Cal Hausner Jr., the hotel began to transform, shifting toward a luxury entertainment model and bringing the Folies Bergère show from Paris to perform. A bold decision that made the Tropicana the first performance arts center on the Strip. The dancers, lights, and jazz music of a Parisian night blend with the Nevada desert, creating a unique identity for the Tropicana: classic, glamorous, and challenging. Entering the 1970s, Las Vegas was changing faster than anywhere else in America. Federal investigations began to expand, shedding light on a series of shady financial activities in major casinos, including the Tropicana. The records show the city needs more than just luck to survive. It needs a transparent system of control, licensing, and management, sufficient to protect both visitors and the economy, which is dependent on the entertainment industry. Tropicana, despite being caught in that whirlwind, inadvertently became a prime example of Las Vegas's dramatic transformation. State and federal governments began standardizing everything, from accounting and taxes to the process of overseeing casino operations. Independent managers were brought in, and international standards were applied for the first time. Vegas is gradually moving out of the cash era and into an age of transparency, legality, and trust. From a cash-built paradise, Tropicana became a case study in financial and operational reform, contributing to Las Vegas's entry into maturity. Its tragedy, being scrutinized, investigated, and fundamentally changed, is precisely the price Vegas had to pay for its survival and growth. Nevertheless, the memory of that era remains deeply ingrained in the city's consciousness. Vegas grew out of the conflict between dreams and reality, between the stage's glamour and the starkness of accounting figures. And Tropicana is a reflection of that dichotomy, where the past, though washed clean with new concrete, still leaves a faint, shimmering trace visible beneath the modern paint. When the players left the table, the lights continued to shine brightly. But what remained was not just victory or defeat, but a city learning to regenerate from its own grey areas. There's a saying that once spread across the Strip: if you haven't seen the Folies Bergère at the Tropicana, you haven't truly seen Las Vegas. More than just a performance, the Folies Bergère, 1959-2009, was the soul of the Tropicana, and also the beating heart of Old Vegas for half a century. As the red and pink lights illuminate the stage, the showgirls in their glittering feathered costumes aren't just dancing. They're reenacting the American dream through music, their bodies, and the belief that Vegas is a place where anyone can shine, even if only for a moment. Behind the stage lights lies a rare artistic ecosystem. Many famous artists like Siegfried and Roy and Lance Burton started their careers here, with small performances backstage at the Tropicana before becoming global icons. It was that very community of dancers and artists that laid the foundation for the Nevada Ballet Theatre and later the Smith Center for the Performing Arts, which continues to nurture the spirit of culture born from the stage that the Tropicana once championed. From the stage lights of Trop, a new city was born, not just from sand and concrete, but from the sweat, laughter, and dreams of the artists. When Tropicana ended its 67-year journey of existence, the night finally became a city ritual. 555 drones and Grucci fireworks were fired in 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Not just to say goodbye to a building, but to say goodbye to an entire soul. That's how Vegas dramatizes the sadness, turns separation into a final act where the whole city bows to its own memories. With cheaper tickets and close space, Folies Bergère used to be a collective ritual that helped people and visitors feel like they belonged in Vegas, even though they weren't millionaires or notorious players. But as contracts, costs and tastes changed, Folies gradually disappeared. Along with it, Tropicana lost heartbeat and Strip lost living memories. From there, Vegas began looking for new rituals to keep people. Giant fountains, laser flares, or brilliant volcano show only amaze the audience with, but no longer make them feel part of the story. Because what once made Vegas attractive was not the grandeur, but the feeling of closeness, where everyone was even once a star on their life stage. At one time, Tropicana was a place where people came to dream. But from the 1980s onwards, Vegas started speaking the new language, the language of balance sheets. When Ramada Inn took over Tropicana, it was not just a business deal, but a turning point for the whole city. The first baptism for Las Vegas, when the authorities wanted to erase organized crime and legalize the casino industry. Vegas is cleaned by, but in the process, part of its soul is also traded away. From there, Tropicana entered a continuous chain of transfers. From Ramada to Penn National Gaming, then Gaming and Leisure Properties, GLPI, and finally, Bally's Corporation. Every time they change hands, part of Tropicana's identity is replaced by the dry language of land leases, transfers, and financial assets. The place once called the Tiffany of the Strip is now only priced by the numbers in the quarterly report. Tropicana is no longer icon, but item in the portfolio. At the municipal level, power also shifted. Clark County Commission and LVCVA, under the leadership of Steve Hill, began reshaping Las Vegas's future as an entertainment capital, global sports. From Sphere to Allegiant Stadium, from Formula One to MLB, everything is about the same goal: turning Las Vegas into a constantly running event machine. In that race, Tropicana, an aging cultural icon, was left out to make way for a new baseball field, and the super project promised more sustainable cash flow. But with each cleaning step, the emotional belongs to fades again. People are starting to call this period the time of clean hands, cold hearts. Everything becomes standardized, lean, efficient, but also colder. Experience value is measured by ADR, RevPAR, ROI, not memory, story, or showgirl smile. Vegas is still bright, but that light reflects from the LED screen and no longer comes from living human stages. When Tropicana closed, about 5,000 hotel rooms were temporarily withdrawn from the market, and Bally's plan was to build 3,000 new rooms around the future MLB stadium. With a scale of billions of dollars, the project is likened to the region's reincarnation ticket, but is also an official farewell to an old Vegas where memory was once more important than cash flow. Now every project is judged by event impact. How many visitors, how many rooms, how much revenue, not how many people will remember it. Vegas of the 21st century pursues the standard corridor sports entertainment. Each corner strip must create super experience. Per square meter must be profitable. In this model, locations that cannot reposition, like Tropicana, become opportunity costs. Heritage is no longer something to preserve, but an asset that can be reinvested. When a city no longer clearly remembers the moment it changed, that's when memories began to be erased in concrete. In the early 2000s, Tropicana still stood there, in the middle of a completely different Las Vegas. Surrounding it are giants: MGM Grand, Mandalay Bay, Bellagio, Aria. In that painting, Tropicana is no longer a symbolic, but a museum that is still open for room rental. Every brick, every glass has the question: how could a legend become so small in the city of its own birth? The final effort came during 2009-2011, when Tropicana undertook a $180 million renovation project, replacing carpets, expanding the casino, renovating rooms, adding white tones of cam to reviving the visuals. But it's like applying makeup to a woken dream. Older guests come back not to relive Vegas, but to remember Vegas. And the younger generation, born during the era of mega resorts, Sphere, and virtual reality experiences, has changed taste. They are not looking for Folies Bergère dancers, but for a 24/7 experience that Tropicana can no longer afford. In the middle of the desert of LED lights, Tropicana slides off the priority map. It is no longer on the list of must-visit, but only in the memory of those who witnessed Vegas in its golden age. Its final visual symbol, stained glass stretched along the casino floor, is proposed to be transferred to UNLV Museum or Neon Museum, along with the Tropicana sign, which will be preserved as relics. One way embalms memories, retains shape, but no more soul. On the final night, the strip was closed at 12:30 a.m. for farewell event safety. Hundreds of residents and former employees gathered outside the fence, while inside, reporters were granted the right to film media pool for the morning news. The end of an era was staged as a national ceremony, where the city once again turned sadness into theatre. However, when the usage value is exhausted, the Tropicana's symbolic value is converted to event. The building is no longer where one lives, but where one views collapse. Blast livestream tickets, slow motion frames, light effects, memories are commercialized into TV moments. 02:30 a.m., October 9th, 2024. On the Strip, the night was as heavy as before a sacrificial ceremony. Then suddenly, the sky glowed with Grucci fireworks blooming with 555 drones gliding in perfect formation, creating a final light symphony, minutes and 22 seconds long. Down there, hundreds of people stood along the fence, holding their breath, waiting for the fateful moment. When the first mine exploded, the sound rang out like thunder. In just 22 seconds, the 67-year-old building, where used to be the Tiffany of the Strip, collapsed into a cloud of dust. A historical chapter closes, in true Vegas style. Tragic, scripted, and brilliant to the end. The scene was not just a demolition, but a mass farewell ceremony. Major TV channels, Good Morning America, CNBC, HBO, ABC7, simultaneously broadcast live. Hundreds of reporters crowded, cameras panning through each floor collapsed. For a few seconds, the ground under his feet shook. The dust flew thick, and the crowd behind the fence clapped and cried. One local resident said, "I felt the explosion as if imprinted on my body. It not only demolished a building, but erased my youth." On the special stand, representatives of LVCVA and Clark County Commission gave a short speech, honoring the past, announcing the future. Out with the old, ring in the new. A new generation contract has been declared. The Tropicana estate will be the foundation for Oakland A's MLB Stadium, along with a 3,000-room hotel invested by Bally's Corporation, expected to be completed in the next decade. With this project, Sports Corridor, entertainment is established as the mainstay strategy of Las Vegas, turning the city into the event capital of America. That day, official speeches also mentioned Nevada legislature as a tribute to creating the legal conditions helped the new project get off the ground. Illustrates how law, capital, and land have come together to reshape the Strip. Everything is smooth, perfect, like a perfectly operating economic line. But between those admirable regeneration powers, something still chokes people. Tropicana spent 67 years creating memories, but it only took 22 seconds to completely destroy them. The city proves its power again. Phoenix always knows how to rise from the ashes. But this time, the price to pay is not just concrete, but the soul converted into capacity and efficiency. Tropicana has collapsed, but what it left behind is not just dust and ash. It is the memory of a generation that believes that happiness can be built with hands and music, not just with capital and contracts. In the midst of an increasingly brighter, louder, and colder Las Vegas, where everything can be rebuilt, Tropicana reminds us that there are things that, when lost, will never return. Maybe the building is gone, but the dream of old Vegas is still. In the night trumpet, in the old neon sign, and in the little stories of the person who worked under that roof. Those pieces of memory are what keep Vegas and America alive. If you have ever worked, visited, or simply dreamed about Tropicana, please share your story in the comments section. Let this memory not only reside in the museum, but continue to live in the narration. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so that together we can keep the pieces of the past that are gradually being forgotten by a city that is only truly alive when people remember why it was once loved. The content in this video was compiled with the purpose of discovering, analyzing, and recognizing the historical and cultural value of Tropicana and Las Vegas in general. All information, images, and data are compiled from public sources, official newsletters, and highly reliable archives. However, some details may have been simplified, edited, or re-described to serve the goal of storytelling and eliciting reflection without being absolutely affirmative. The video is not intended to criticize, attribute, or accuse any organization, individual, or corporation, but only reflects the transformative picture of Las Vegas through a cultural, social perspective. Any assessment, feeling, or comparison in analytical content, commentary, and presentation art is not a legal, financial, or investment statement.